Breaking tonight, we are less than 10 hours out now from the first votes cast in South Carolina's GOP primary. The Kelly File put together a focus group of Palmetto State Republicans to get their final thoughts. Then we surprised them by bringing in two of the frontrunners, Senator Marco Rubio and Senator Ted Cruz. We recorded the group's reactions in real time. And in moments, those reactions will be displayed on your screen. It will look like this. The red line represents the feelings of the conservatives in the audience. The green line is the moderates. When the lines go up, it means they like what they're hearing. When they go down, not so much. Pollster Frank Luntz ran the deal, and we begin with Senator Rubio. Watch.
It is with great pleasure that I introduce the senator from Florida, Marco Rubio.
Turn the dials.
Word or phrase to describe Marco Rubio?
Awesome statesman.
Conservative.
Presidential.
Establishment.
Bold.
Handsome.
Young.
Diplomatic.
I gotta ask you, are you married? Are you happily married?
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good response. Is there anything briefly that you feel that the voters of South Carolina and America haven't heard from you yet that you would want them to know as they make up their minds?
Well, I'm not sure you haven't heard it yet.
Grab your dials. And let's rate Marco Rubio.
I'm not sure you haven't heard it yet, but I want to reiterate why it is that I have decided to enter public service and run for the presidency. And that is that I believe that my generation will either leave our children the freest and most prosperous Americans that have ever lived, or we're going to be the first Americans that leave our kids worse off than ourselves. And that's what motivates me to do this. That's the reason why I feel so passionate about it.
Thank you. Marco?
We've got three people here who are first-time voters. What's your question for him?
My question. One of the greatest passions of mine is sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ everywhere, no matter this state, North Carolina, all over the world. Tell me your stance on religious liberty.
I'm going to do the other two. Your question.
You're in my top, or you're my number one right now, with Trump a close second. What can you say, or my withdrawals about you are immigration right now? What can you do real quickly to clarify immigration to make me vote for you?
And you're also a first-time voter.
Miles is about immigration. You say that you don't want to deport it's impossible to deport all the illegal immigrants here. But why don't you at least try? Because I mean, they did break the law by coming here illegally, and they are taking American jobs. So why don't you just at least try to deport them?
My recommendation is to go for the undecided guy up there.
Well, he said that number one, but I can get out on the religious liberty. The religious liberty is not just the liberty to believe whatever you want. It's the ability to live out your faith in every aspect of your life. It's the free exercise, meaning no government should never force you to violate your conscience. I think the two questions were about immigration. And let me just say, number one, I don't believe we can round up and deport 12 million people. I don't think you would support what it would take to do that when it started happening. I do believe that people will have to be deported. The law has to be enforced. And I think we should begin with people that are dangerous and pose a threat. That should be happening now. And I think that should be happening now. I mean, people that pose a threat to public safety should be the first ones we prioritize. And that should be happening now, irrespective of anything else. And about immigration, I would just say, look, it's very clear we're not going to be able to do anything on immigration until the American people see that illegal immigration is under control. And not just pass a law. That's what we learned in 2013. Passing a law alone is not enough. They want to actually see the wall built. They want to actually see us hire the additional border agents. They want to actually see E-Verify in place, and they want to see an entry-exit tracking system in place. And it's working. Because after 1986, when Reagan did it, they never did the enforcement part. And people are saying, we're not going to let this happen again. And that's exactly why I don't think we can do anything else until that happens first.
Support anybody else?
In the very back.
Well, I want to know why you supported the Gang of Eight bill then.
Yeah. So back then in 2013, the Senate was moving forward on immigration reform. And so what I wanted to do was make it as conservative as possible in a Senate controlled by Harry Reid, sending it over to the House, because you can't just pass a bill from the Senate and send it to the President, in the hopes that the conservative House would make it even better. And if you go back at the time and see my statements, it was very clear. I said it over and over again. This bill is not strong enough. It won't pass this way. The House is going to have to make it stronger, and that's the only way we're going to have a chance to do it. So that's what I endeavored to do, is to make it as strong as possible. That isn't the way we're going to do it when I'm president. When I'm president, I can do it our way, not the way they wanted to do it. And that was never going to be the final law. But I wanted to make it as conservative. In essence, I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to have an impact on an issue that still haunts us. we're still facing this issue.
The among all the negative ads with the candidates, the one that has affected me the most is the one that continues to say that you have not shown up for votes. But I have not heard you explain or defend that whatsoever.
Well, I have almost a 90% vote record in my entire time of 5 years in the Senate. When I started running for president, I started missing some votes. For example, votes that passed 97 to nothing, or votes on a district judge that everyone supports, or votes that haven't been consequential. When there's been a vote where I can make a difference, or on a major public policy matter like defunding Planned Parenthood, I make those votes. Last week, I took off the campaign and went back to vote on North Korea sanctions. But when you run for president, I can't be in two places at once. And ultimately, I'm running for president because while senators can help shape the agenda, only a president can set the agenda. These bills that we're voting on, Obama's going to veto them. We need a new president. And that's why I spend time on the campaign trail. I'm not running for re-election to the Senate. I'm either going to be a private citizen or the next president of the United States. I feel that passionately that we need to improve in that office.
What's your reaction to his answer?
I love the answer because I know that you've got to work with what you've got to deal with, and I want to see you do more when you get to the Senate. And I saw you leave Colombia the other day to go back and vote in North Korea.
What's your reaction to his answer?
I think it's honest and sincere.
One more.
The thing that I love is that you noticed he said, I'm not running for re-election for Senate. I'll either be a private citizen, so it's not like he's fallen back on a job he had. That's why I believe you.
These other guys aren't.
Let's go. We can do tough questions.
Marco, I've got a question for you. I love Jeb Bush, but I do not want Donald Trump. Should I consider voting for you on Saturday?
Well, I honestly believe I'm the only one left in this race that can do two things, and we have to do them both. One is we have to unite this movement. We're going to have a spirited primary, but if we're still fighting with each other in September and October, we're going to lose. And if we lose, that means Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are president. And number two, we have to grow this movement. Now, in the past, you know what they've told us we need to do to grow this movement? We have to water down our principles, be less conservative. I don't believe that for 1 second. I believe that we need to take our principles to people that don't vote for us now, and I'm going to. I am going to take the things I believe in, conservatism, to people that are living the way that I grew up, to people that live paycheck to paycheck, to students that have student loans, to families raising their children, to first-generation Americans. And I'm going to say to them, I lived the way you're living now. I grew up the way you're living now, and I'm a conservative, and you should be too. It's what's right for you, it's what was right for me, and it's what's right for America.
Reaction.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask.
And straight ahead, Senator Ted Cruz does the same, going face-to-face with the South Carolina primary voters that will decide his fate tomorrow. We'll show you how he did.